Good morning. We're going to cover some basic interactive help features of the Oracle VM CLI. The CLI has some excellent interactive features that can help you remember what commands are available, as well as discern what arguments each of the commands expects. Some of the commands expect quite a few little arguments. I use these features a lot while I'm writing my automation scripts using the CLI. It just helps me remember. Anyway, let's begin by opening up my usual my script server terminal and log into the manager where the CLI is running. SSH admin at my manager port 10,000. Make sure everything's spelled right. Now we log in. Now everything here that I'm covering right now is covered in the CLI User's Guide, which I explained in one of the previous videos where to get it from. And it covers it in a lot more detail than I am here. Probably uses the right terminology too. Anyway, so to see the commands that are available to you to use in the CLI, just hit the question mark key. So I'm going to hit question mark. I don't have to hit return or anything like that. It immediately returns that list of commands. And then here's one other little help command right here. Now it shows you the same exact list, but a little more detail. So here it shows you, for instance, the list command shows you that it needs the list plus an object type, whereas show, which shows you detail, much more detail about the object shown by list, also needs an instance. Now instance is referenced a lot here, and it's also referenced in the CLI User's Guide, and it's a little mysterious what it really means, but we'll see in a minute what instance is. What is it looking for when you see the word instance? So now the command that I'm going to use to demonstrate all the help features is called remove. And I get into these commands in a later video. Remove will remove an object like a server from another object, like from a server pool or from a repository. So I'm going to need a couple of bits of information, like what server I want to remove and which repository I want to remove it from. So I would simply type in list server, and I can hit tab completion, and it will complete the rest of that command. And we'll talk about that in a minute, a little more detail about that. And there's my servers, and then I can also go list. Oh, darn it. You need to spell things right. List server. Oh no, I said repository. Repository. So I hit tab completion on that, and luckily it completed that command for me, because as you can see, I can't type very well. List repository, and there we have it. I have servers that I can operate on, objects that I can operate on, and also the repository objects that I can operate on. So now let's explore the remove command, which should show us basically all the other interactive features or help features of the CLI. So I'm going to type in remove, and then I hit the space bar. Now, if you hit the space bar and it doesn't return immediately, it means the command is waiting for something else. It has other arguments that it needs to actually successfully complete. So just by hitting the space bar tells me I need to figure out what else it wants. So I can hit the question mark. It wants an object type, if we remember from above in the help command. So what object types can I operate on? I just hit a question mark, and now it shows me that I can operate on BOM port, file system, server, server pool, for instance, and we're going to work on a server and remove it from a repository. Anyway, so remove space server tab completion. And then the space, when I hit the tab completion, it kind of stopped right there. It didn't put a space on the end of it, because I can also have server pool. Anyway, I want a server, and then it wants something else, because I hit the space bar and it didn't return. So I hit the question mark, and it tells me I need an ID or name. Now getting back to that instance that we saw in up above, and let me just scroll back up above real quick and highlight that in yellow. We can see that instance right there, what it's really referring to are one or the other of these. It either wants an ID equals or a name equals. And we can see that the list command up here, which is highlighted in yellow, returned an ID and a name for the object, the server object, the lab server 1. So let's go ahead and remove lab server 1 from a repository. So I'm going to up arrow, just like bash. I can step back through my command history. I'm going to hit spacebar ID equals, because that tells me what it wants next. And I'm just going to pick this first one. Okay, I hit the spacebar. The command doesn't execute, so it's telling me it wants something else. Now, what other argument does it want? Just hit the question mark, and it tells me it wants to remove it from something. All right, it's from, so let's type in from. And I hit the space bar and it doesn't return, so I got a question mark again. Oh, it wants me to remove it from a server pool, a file server, a SAN server, whatever is on the list there. So I'm going to go ahead and up arrow, and then I'm going to say I want to remove it from a repository. I'm going to type in RE. That's enough to do a tab completion. Hit the space, and it wants something else. Now, what else could this command possibly want? So I'm going to hit the question mark again. Oh, it wants an ID or name of the repository. So I up arrow, and I type in ID equals, and then if we remember up here, I got the name of a repository. Now I'm not going to put the real repository. I'm going to leave a few characters off. I want it to fail. I don't really want to remove this. So this command will fail. And now I just go ahead and hit the space bar. Now if it leaves a space, it's going to want something else, and you hit another question mark. Or if I hit a space and it returns, then it has all the arguments that satisfy that command, and it'll go ahead and execute. Now remember, this is going to fail, and I plan on it failing. Alright, there you go. So I hit the space bar and it acted just like a return key. And normally, if you put the right ID name in there, it would succeed, status would be succeed, and then it would tell you where it removed it from. Anyway, that is a, relatively speaking, quick introduction to all the interactive help features of the Oracle VM CLI. Thank you very much for your attention.